Hey there, this is Tracking25 and welcome back to another redstone tutorial. In this video, I'll be showing you how to build the redstone slot machine you see right behind me that you can use as a minigame in your Minecraft world. How the slot machine works is very simple. Like you saw from the intro video, all you have to do is put diamonds in this dropper over here, flick the lever up and down, then eventually the slot machine will cycle around the blocks, and the blocks will eventually stop on a random block. If you get 3 of the same color blocks, you'll actually win and the prize is going to come out of this side over here. Just like that, I just won 15 diamonds. Now the circuitry to build a slot machine is actually very simple, even though it may look confusing. All you have to do is build out one of these sides and then you'll know how to build the rest of them. So for example, you can have it 5 wide if you want for the slot machine. But anyways, enough with the talking, let's get on with the tutorial. Now the first step is just establishing the floor for your slot machine. So I want my floor to be at this height, which I think is a good height. Then we have to go out 5 blocks in this direction from this block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go up 1 block and then place a block that you want for your redstone slot machine reel right here. So this is actually going to be the block that's going to be cycled around. So all we have to do now is just place 2 more blocks out to the side, then have another block on that one, then 2 more blocks out to the side over here. Another block on that one, and these are going to be the blocks we're going to use for the redstone slot machine reel. Now we're going to build out the back half of the slot machine reel, which is going to be the same for all 3. Now to build out one of the slot machine reels, we have to come to the back of the diamond block and place 3 blocks out like that. Break these 2 because you don't need it. Then place a sticky piston facing that way. Then go behind the sticky piston, place a block down to the side like that, and the redstone torch on that block. Perfect, it should extend. Now to place an observer just facing downwards on that block, break that one because you don't need it, then place a redstone repeater on that block and set it to 2 ticks. Now at the bottom you want to place a block down like that, another block out to the side, I use glass blocks, and then on this block you want to place redstone dust. Then in front of that you want to place a block up like that, another glass block there, break that bottom one because you don't need it, then have a redstone repeater set to 3 ticks on that block, then place a block up like that with redstone dust on this block. Now this is actually the bottom circuit all done, so now let's do the top part circuit. So for this, you want to place 2 observers facing upwards like that, and have redstone dust on that observer. Then have 2 glass blocks going out like that, another one to the side there. Then on this block, you want to place a repeater set to 3 ticks, then up like that with a block, and then down out to the side with another block. Break that bottom one, then have redstone dust on this block. And on this side, you want to place redstone dust with a repeater set to 1 tick, then have a block going out to the side, like that, and now we're all good. The last thing we have to do is just place in all the regular pistons. So for this block, the piston has to be facing downward on that block. On this block, the piston has to be facing upward on that block. For this block, the piston has to be facing upward on this one. And on this one, the piston has to be facing on that glass block. And now everything should be working fine and dandy. Now all you can do right now is just pause the video and repeat the circuit out 2 more times on that block and then that block. Then once you finish doing those circuits, you can unpause the video and continue on with the tutorial. Once you finish building out your 3 reels, we can continue on with the next step. Now all we have to do is just place down a note block out to the side, making sure that it's 2 blocks behind that repeater, and then go under the note block and place 2 more note blocks going downwards with another one at the bottom. So these 2 note blocks we actually don't need, so we can break both of them. Then place 2 observers going upwards. Now on this observer you want to place another one facing this way, and have a note block in front of it and then one going up. We actually don't need that bottom one. Then place another note block out to the side with an observer facing this way. Now we just continue down in a little loop, so we're going to place a note block on that block with 2 observers facing downwards into another note block, and then a couple more observers going into that other note block, and that should complete the loop. Now we just have to place glass blocks on all these note blocks so they don't make a sound, because it would get annoying over time. Then you want to place a sticky piston facing downwards on this glass block. Downwards, perfect on that glass block. One over here with an observer facing downwards in front of that sticky piston. Perfect, that's good to go. Now on this back note block, we have to place a block down, just like that, with the redstone repeater, set that to 2 ticks. Then in front of that repeater, you want to place a block up like that, with a dropper on top of it and a hopper. It's good to go. And then we want to place a block down in front of the dropper with the comparator facing this way. Then we just have to get out redstone dust. So I'll just get out 2 pieces of redstone dust and place it on those 2 blocks there. Just like before, you can pause the video right now and complete this same step 2 more times on that reel, and then continue on with the tutorial. Now when all your reels are completed, we just have to set up the randomizer for the droppers. So in each one of the droppers, you want to fill it up with one non-stackable item. I'm using a wooden sword. Then 5 items that stack to 64. You want to do the same thing for each one of the droppers. Perfect. And last one over here. Alright, that's good to go. So what happens is when the wooden sword goes up into the hopper, it will power off the piston, which will stop the reel on a random spot. And that's all set up and good to go. Now we can actually set up the redstone lamps, which are in the front of the redstone system. So for that, you want to go out 2 blocks from the pistons at the top. Same thing on that side, 2 blocks out. Break those blocks, and then on the back over here where we have the redstone dust in front of the comparator, you want to place a observer facing upward with a block on top of it. And then on that block, you want to place redstone dust. And then go out 4 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then go out 2 to the side. And on this block, you want to place a redstone repeater set to 2 ticks. Then have redstone dust on these blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we just have to make a little comparator decay clock, so we need blocks out just like that. And then place 2 comparators facing that way and that way. And then we have to continue out the signal till we get to the redstone lamp. So I'll go out a couple blocks. Now on this back block, you want to place a full block with a redstone torch on that block, then have redstone dust on all these blocks. And that's good to go. So what happens is when the system turns off, the redstone lamp will actually turn on, so you know when your reel is all done. And I can complete this step again for this reel, and then we can move on with the next step of the tutorial. The next step we'll be doing is setting up the circuit to power the system. So to do that, we have to come to the right side of the slot machine and then go down to these bottom blocks and then go out 2 to the side like that. Break these 2 blocks and make sure that there's a redstone lamp on this block. Now in front of the redstone lamp, you want an observer facing this way. Perfect, that's good to go. And then in the middle, what we have to do is just fill out these blocks with glass blocks and place redstone dust on all these blocks, including that block. And then in front of this one, what we have to do is place the observer facing this way with a note block on top of it, another one going up, like that, going into another observer, then have a block on top of it, just like that. So we have to repeat the same step on this side with the observer facing this way, going into a note block, going up into a note block, and then going up, and have 2 random blocks on the top. And then when we put redstone dust on these blocks, it's going to power the system, but we're just going to wait to the very end just to make sure that we don't mess up the system before everything is completed. Now we're going to set up the payment system for the slot machine. So you want to come back to the front where you have your middle block and then go out 7 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And on this last block, you want to place a dropper facing this way with a hopper facing downward. So we don't need that bottom hopper, we can break it. Perfect. Now all we have to do is place a chest down over there and have a chest in front of it and a hopper going into it. So I like placing a few chests out, breaking that one, then have the hopper going into that chest. And now we can set up the locking system for the front. So in front of this hopper, what we have to do is place a block up like that, have a block out to the side, break that one, then go 1 more block out, and then place a redstone comparator on this block, then a redstone repeater on this block, and then go out 2 more blocks, go up 1 like that, and break that block. Place redstone dust on these 2, have another block in front of it, and then a redstone torch on this block. Now in this hopper, you can decide what they pay for your slot machine. So I want them to pay emeralds for the slot machine. So what I have to do is fill up these 4 slots with emeralds and then have 18 on this slot there. So 1, 2, 3, that should be 18. Perfect, that's good to go. So now in the front, we can just put a lever on top of this dropper. And then when I put emeralds in the system, what will happen is when I flick the lever down, the emerald actually goes into this hopper. See, it's at 19 now. This torch gets powered off. And the game only starts when the emerald goes down into that chest. And the next step we're actually going to be setting up down there just to get the game to start when it goes in that chest. Now we'll be setting up a way so they can't pay twice for the game and a way to start it. So to do that, what we have to do is place redstone lamps on top of the dropper and the hopper in a little L pattern like that. And then go to the bottom and break this block under the dropper and place a glass block in front of that hopper and a normal block in front of the chest. Now these 2 blocks, what you want to do is have redstone dust on those blocks, then go down a block and out like that, break those bottom ones, place redstone dust on these 2 blocks, and then go out 2 more blocks and place the comparator facing this way, another one facing this way, and have 2 blocks in front of those comparators with redstone dust on these blocks. Perfect. Now we can go up in a little staircase pattern That's enough. And then place redstone dust on these blocks until you get to this point there. So what will happen is when they pay for the game, these redstone lamps will turn on and it'll lock the system so they can't pay twice. Now to start the game, we have to go to the bottom where we have this hopper, place a block down on the side, block down like that, break that one there, going out another block and placing a comparator on this block with a redstone repeater on that block. Then we should have to go up a block, break that bottom one and place redstone dust on this block. That's why we placed that one up there earlier. And then go all the way out until we get to the redstone lamp. So we're at the redstone lamp and place redstone dust on all these blocks. And this is actually going to start the game. Now we just have to go out to the side and place a dropper on this side. And then go out a couple more blocks, place another dropper going into that one. And break those other ones because we don't need it. And in this block, just place any old random item. So I'll place redstone dust. And this is actually going to help with the locking system for the double paying. Now we're going to set up a system to unlock the paying mechanism and stop the slot machine. So we're going to come to the back where we have the observers and place a block in front of them with a redstone repeater on each one of the blocks set to 2 ticks, 2 ticks, and 2 ticks. Then in front of these repeaters, you want to place a line of blocks like that with redstone dust on each one of these blocks. And you want to place a block down in front of that line with a repeater on it. And then in front of that repeater, you want to go a block up and then a block down. Place redstone dust on this block. Then we got to make a little staircase until we get to that dropper. So I'm going to go down one more block. I'm in line with the dropper now. And then I'm making a little staircase pattern until I get to the dropper. It'll go under that redstone line. Perfect, I'm under the line now. Oops, there we go. So now I'm going to go all the way till I get to the dropper. Perfect, I'm at the dropper, so I'm going to place a block under it there with a redstone dust on that block. Then on this block, I'm going to place another block with a redstone torch. These blocks we don't need. And now what I'll do is make a little comparative decay clock on this side. So I'll place a couple more blocks out to the side, and then have a comparator facing this way, another one facing this way, with redstone dust on all these blocks, and place another block in front of it with redstone dust. And I just have to connect up the redstone dust to the little staircase. And everything is connected, and that's good to go. Now in front of this dropper, all I have to do is place another block in front of it, and go down a block, go out 2, place a comparator on this block, and a redstone repeater on that block, and then have redstone dust on blocks connecting to up over here. And that's good to go. So now what happens is when the game stops, it'll unlock the dropper hopper over there, and this will get powered off so you can actually play the game again. So now we're going to be setting up the prize system for the slot machine, which is one of the last steps we have to do. Now for the slot machine, we have to set up this configuration into the slot machine reels. Now this is just any transparent block, and this is just any solid block. So you can swap out the diamonds for any solid block, and then you can swap out the wool for any solid block. And same thing for the glass blocks, it can be swapped out in any transparent block. So I gotta do this configuration into my slot machine reels. So we have transparent, solid, transparent, transparent, solid. Okay, so I will do that over here. It is transparent, and then solid, transparent, transparent, and solid. And we have to leave this gap and this bottom gap open. So I believe now I am back to the beginning. So it is transparent, solid, transparent, transparent, and solid. And this is the combination that we got to do for all 3 of the slot machine reels. And again, you can replace any one of the solid blocks with any solid block in the game, and any transparent block with any transparent block in the game that gets moved by pistons. Now we have to set up an AND gate at the bottom of the slot machine. So once you finish putting in your slot machine reels, next to this bottom block, we have to place a block down and have a redstone torch on that block. Oops, redstone torch, and then have a repeater this way. And that goes into another block and a redstone torch on that block. You have to go down a block like that, break those 2 because we don't need it. Place redstone dust on this block and go down one more out to the side like that and have a redstone repeater on that block. You have to do this 2 more times on the slot machine reels. So I'm going to go to this side, go down 2 blocks and go up 1. Oops, I did the same mistake. And redstone repeater there into a redstone torch. Going down into redstone dust, up like that, and one more time with the repeater on that block. If I can get to that block, perfect. This side needs the same thing. And what this does for the AND gate is the slot machine only turns off once you have a specific combination. So in this combination, I had any one of the blue blocks, being the diamond or the blue glass, turn off the slot machine. So like I said before, you can change it out for any single block you want in the game, as long as you put the transparent blocks with the transparent blocks and solid blocks with the solid blocks. Now for the redstone repeaters, what we're going to do is go out blocks like that and place redstone dust on all these blocks. And then at the end, we're going to place a sticky piston with a redstone block on top of it. Then have two hoppers going into each other. And like that. And on this hopper, what we're going to do is place a block down in front of it. That's in front of it. And place a comparator like that, with a block in front and redstone torch on that block and dust on that. And you want to place 8 items into this hopper. I think that should be 8. 7, so one more. Now this is actually only going to turn off once you get the exact combination, which I have over here. So that's set to go. Now all we have to do is just build out the walls and then make the last step for our prize system. So I've built out the wall covering visible redstone, and if you want, you can actually make it a little bit more hidden by just placing more blocks at the top, but it's pretty much up to you how you want your slot machine to look. Now we have to do a couple more steps to get it working, and if the lamps are actually still turned on, you have to come to the dropper and just put the item back into that front dropper just so we can activate the system. Now from before, we didn't put redstone dust on these back blocks, so we're going to put redstone dust on those back pistons. And now everything should be ready to go, and we can actually play this for the first time. So you can set up your prize system any way you want. You can actually copy my design if you like it with the water stream going up. There'll be a Word download for that exact design, but at the bottom, all you have to do is pretty much just place a sticky piston facing upwards with an observer on that sticky piston facing this way. Then have a couple blocks going out, just like that in front of it, and have redstone dust on this block, and with a repeater set to 4 ticks. And then you have to make a little decay clock on this side with comparators. So I will do that, and then that on this side. If I can get to that side. Oh, there we go. Got to that side. And then I'm going to place another sticky piston with a observer facing this way on top of it, and observer facing this way. And this will power a dropper, and all my items will be in the dropper. So pretty much this will only go off if I win. So if you want, you can copy my design, or you can do something like this, having it shooting out the ground, the ceiling, anywhere you want. Now there's a few more blocks we just have to place in to make this fully operational. In the back, if you did not place redstone dust on this block like I didn't, place redstone dust on that block. And on all these blocks, no blocks there, there, and there, we have to place an observer facing this way, going into that block. So I'll place an observer facing that way, observer facing this way, and observer facing this way. I do this so that the system can't start automatically and push my piston reel off. So now we're actually perfect and ready to go. So I'll test this actually for the first time, and hopefully it spins around. Oh, it's spinning. It's spinning. And I actually lost. So it's set up so if anything is blue or anything is white, I would win. But the system's working perfectly fine, and hope you build this in your world. But anyways guys, that's going to do it for this redstone tutorial. It's been Tracking 25, and I'll see you guys in this next video. Dang, I didn't win.